I'm not sure how I'm going to talk to you this. You know this, I have to give you a little I don't know, philosophical or dialectical terminologies. I'm so sorry, I don't want it to do. But less means negation, right? Negating something. Negative. Negating. And what are you negating? Negating is something not there, and we think it is there, and then it's not a correction, not the correction of mistake corrected. It's not. In Tibetan language, we have two easy terminologies called Mainga and Mega. Ga means negation, negating something which is not, and negating something which is not exist. Did it make any sense at all? So some people did because they have some background, they're shaking their heads. But many people are looking, what are you talking at me? So, okay, let me put the other way around. Okay. When you look at things, when you look at me, not you looking at me, but we all looking at each other, yourself. We're all looking at self. When you look at me, what do you perceive? We perceive me as solid. Me. Solid me. Is that true in reality? No. So, appearance and reality difference. Whatever it appears, it might not be what it is. I was talking to some friend, and that friend was talking to some another friend, Olan Jolat. I will not name it. But that person told this person who I talked to, said he told her, when you're looking at the table, so what do you see? She said, I see a table. He said, that's not a table. That's not table. That's not a table. It's not a table what you see, but it's not a table. Okay. So I don't know whether it is table or not. You can't say it's not a table. Table is table. Because there's a four legs, there's a top, and the four legs will lift the top up, and you can use it as a table, so it is good enough to be a table. But what he is talking about is the reality of a table as an independent table and a dependent table. So dependent table is the true. Independent table is not true. Even there's a table. You look at the table depends on the legs, table depends on the parts and the parcel. Table depends on the mind that acknowledges this as a table. Table depends on the people who use this as a table, and then it becomes real table. But if you wanted independent table, though we'll say, I'll make independent table for you, that means it's not attached to anybody else. But independent table really means not depending on anything. Even a slab of wood on the top is totally depend on the particles of this wood. The particles put together become solid piece. I'm not talking about those particle board crossed. I'm talking about the true wood, solid wood. Even solid wood is particle board. Sorry, I think Super's going to say no, Rimpoche. Where is Super? Where? Canada. Oh, I'm sorry. So that's why I'm saying what appears and what reality is slightly different. And that gives you some idea what we are talking about. And beside that, emptiness is result of negation of what do not exist. Emptiness is not a result of correction. It's a result of negation. No one truly, or truly I don't mean that way, whatever exists, you cannot negate because it exists. Are you with me? Yeah. You cannot negate something which is truth. No matter how many logics you use, no matter how many scientific experiments you use, whatever you do cannot be negated because it's the truth. We all say truth will prevail. That's what it meant. Truth cannot be negated. You can reject, but you can never. You can reject because reject gives you your power. You can just do it. I reject. And turn around. Doesn't matter. But you can never negate because it's truth. So when they say time selfless, self-negated, negate means something which is not there has to be negated, which means convince to yourself, prove to yourself it is a false perception and is not a reality. So when you prove that to you, what you have done is the false perception is negated. Reality can never be negated. Why this a complicated thing we're talking about it? Our ego is so complicated. So ego's manifestation of our negative emotions and be mean and be wanted to hurt people without wanting to hurt people. Some people can't even help it, just do little bit to hurt. Maybe you think I'm teasing, or maybe I'm registering my message or something. However, people hurt people all the time because of the ego is so sophisticated. This selfless negation of self is antidote of ego. Direct contradiction, direct power of defeating ego. So that's why this is also a little more sophisticated, because it has to overpower the ego. And the ego has so much help from the confusion. Confusion is such a thing that it will really trick your own mind. You, however sincere you may be, you get mixed up. Confusion comes out of language, comes out of conversation, comes out of writing, comes out of explanation, and very important, comes out of thought. And that are ego manifestations. People with wisdom don't get confused. Because it is anti-confusion. So that's why this is a little sophisticated, and the principle you have to know is the truth can never be negated. So it is the false has to be negated. And what false do we have in our mind identifying self? That is the question. Many Buddhist schools, those tenets, have different ideas. Most of them thought this identity of the self has to come from our body, form, physical body. So many schools will say 5 skandhas or the 5 aggregates are the meaning of self, which is of course faulty. Then some says, oh no, it's not a body, it is a mind. 5 consciousness or 6th consciousness, 6th sense. These are the 5 senses. And 6th sense is that ego self. And many sees this is also faulty because it is a mind. And the mind is the truth. The ego is the false. So is it not right? So then they make it 8 sense. 8 sense. And they add up 1 more, 2 more. One is called the negative, and the other is called basis of all. So Chittamandan and all of those will say basis of all. Kunshi, basis of all. So it adds up 8 cents up. And so that is the ego with defeat. Then some says it is extra form outside invisible. And all those, and I don't know whether we have to study all this or not, but the truth is what we consider is Nagarjuna's point. And Nagarjuna's point of emptiness is nothing but the dependent origination, which people will think of not depending is false, and the depending is the truth. So this is the basic introduction of that for today. And then we will talk a little more, couple of Sundays, and I think I will be here too, because I don't have any schedule for going out anywhere. Thanks for the dialysis, so I can't move much. So I'll be here a couple of Sundays too.